This is TWiT.
Yes, people are upset about this. So the Zoom is saying, and I'm not sure it's as bad as it sounds.
I'm not sure what. Yeah, the way it's
there's some
worded.
bad messaging here, but what basically Zoom said that we can use some of your data for training AI and communications. Someone read that and inferred that that meant we can use anything that you say on a Zoom conference call to train our AI. That doesn't seem to be true, but it's not like Zoom's doing a great job articulating this so far.
This is one of those things where if we didn't have Twitter, we wouldn't have any of these outrages. Right?
I mean,
you're right.
Zoom,
we wouldn't have any
Somebody tweeted, and I saw it on Mastodon too. Somebody tweeted, Zoom's terms of services now require you to allow AI to train on all, capital ALL, of your data, audio, facial recognition, private conversations, unconditionally and irrevocably with no opt-out. Don't try to negotiate with our new overlords, read one widely shared tweet this week, according to the AP. It's since been deleted. And the company has said, no, that's not true.
So what has the company said?
The company says it will use, yes. Here's their blog post from Smita Hashim, how Zoom's terms of service practices apply to AI features. Fortunately, Zoom had a crisis response team still in place from earlier in the pandemic. They basically said, no, you have to give permission. For AI, we do not use audio, video, or chat content for training our models without customer consent. Now, I hope that that's a big box.
So again, this sounds like the whole Adobe thing.
It's very similar. This is, you get this moral panic, if I might steal a phrase, over terms of
that's
service.
fine.
But that happens all.
I have that trademarked.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Got it clear now, baby.
Where's the TM? I didn't see a TM. Did you see a TM? I didn't see a TM.
I'm suing you, Leo Laporte.
No, but this happens all the time. It's happened again and again where people read these boilerplate legal things, and sure, it does say we can use everything you give us forever in any form, no charge.
But read the second sentence, people.
But that's boilerplate, and it's often because in order to do what they do, they need to assert that. Almost always it's not true, right?
You do have to go and opt out of providing some of your data to Zoom for model training. And you can go change this. So let's
go into... They explicitly say that, though.
Well, they say you have to opt out. And we all know how great people are at opting out.
They're just not reading. They read
Zoom.
the first sentence, not reading the second sentence, because that's why they don't opt out. They didn't read the second sentence, basically.
They say, we will not use customer content, including education records or protected health information, to train our artificial intelligence models without your consent. We routinely enter into student data protection agreements with our education customers and our legally required business associate agreements with our healthcare customers. We recently introduced two powerful generative AI features, Zoom IQ Meeting Summary and Zoom IQ Team Chat Compose. These features require you, we have to look at the data to do these things. Zoom account, and this is in bold, Zoom account owners and administrators control whether to enable these AI features for their accounts. Now, if you enable them, of course, in order to have a meeting summary, it has to ingest your meeting. So I think that's why it says this in the terms of service, but that's if you turn on that feature. Here's what Zoom says it looks like. And this is my thing is, you can say it requires consent, but if that consent's buried in fine print at the end of a user license agreement that nobody reads, that's not consent. But it looks like they're pretty good here about.
Looks just like the Creative Cloud window.
Yeah.
Like that.
Web setting will be default off. If admin enables a toggle, they'll see a pop-up that talks about data sharing. You have to press accept. After accepting, admins can still disable data sharing at any time by turning this off, meeting summary with Zoom IQ. It makes sense. I mean, you and I know that if it's doing a meeting summary, well, it must have the data.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody might be surprised through that.
People are often surprised by things like that. Think about the drama. Oh, go on.
Here's what the people who are in your meeting will see. Meeting summary has been enabled. So, and AI generated content,
Fine print.
it's not that fine, and it's covering the whole thing, and you got to say got it or leave the meeting. So, I mean, how big do you want it to be, Jeff? That seems like...
Plus, what a lot of people... No, I'm great. Plus, a lot of people are using these other services where it comes in as another guest to the Zoom.
Right, and not telling anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Not telling you anything.
To reiterate, Zoom writes, we do not use audio, video, or chat content for training our models without customer consent. And as far as I'm concerned, if this is what the customer consent looks like, it seems like that's sufficient.
Fine to me.
Yeah. But we see this all the time with terms of service. People read it and they go, oh, they freak out. It's happened again and again. So
I don't think it's wrong though to
I'm with
change
you.
to
Yes.
look at them.
I'm completely with you. Yes. This is from the AP again. Online privacy experts say this policy is now accurately reflected in the document. However, the terms do still allow Zoom to train AI on other data, such as how customers behave. And they question how much choice some meeting participants will have to opt out if, say, their boss decides, no, we're going to have the meeting IQ and it's on. Okay, yeah, you're working for a boss who doesn't care about your privacy, I guess.
Well, think about a city council meeting. If my city council meeting is recorded and they're doing an AI summary as a citizen and I want to go on, I have to commit to that. And that is a question that is worth talking about and answering. Or as a reporter, getting like the FCC and the White House hold meetings over Zoom. I have to agree to whatever terms they set in order to get in the building, as it were.
I mean, honestly, this is just the beginning, because everything we do, including our podcast, at some point, I suspect, will be churned through an AI for things like show notes and summaries and action items. And
and beyond that, too, with the tool like NetworkML and stuff, you have more ability to get to the data. I was at the AEJMC Communication and Journalism Academics Conference. Woohoo! The last couple of days. Dan Frumkin, who's a very good press critic, was there saying to people, reporters should be taking their entire interviews and not just taking the one quote out and putting the notebook in the drawer. They should be putting it all up into a database so that it becomes usable, right? And I think that's true. There's a lot of things that were ambient that died, but now that we can have other ways to get to it, I think it's going to be a lot more collection than we had only a few years ago.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I know that Ohm started his blog, and I often thought of blogging when I started at an earlier publication I was at, as the blog was the repository for things in your notes that didn't make it into the story. So
Right.
you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Right.
I'll just write a little thing. And so it was searchable. It was accessible. And then Cory Doctorow talks about this a lot. I know that I do this, is you take all of those little things over time and they become part of a bigger story. So it's kind of the inverse of what traditional journalism might have been, and you're doing it kind of in front of everyone.
it's okay, though, right? That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yes and no. So if I look at my notes, I have little codes that when I'm typing up my notes, I'm like, oh, this is off the record. So I pull that out. I could never just throw my notes into an AI to make sure, without it. And some of it's I type little notes to myself within my notes. This is BS. Check this fact.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to publish that. Yeah. I guess the other thing I'd be concerned about is the raw notes published without context might be misrepresenting the actual facts of the matter, or no.
And my notes are in shorthand. And if I have notes from, let's say I have notes from an interview with Donald Trump, and then I go talk to a Trump rival. If I just publish my notes from Donald Trump, and then next week is my interview with the rival, you're getting an incredibly biased view.
What if, all right, let me give it to you this way. Instead of your reporter notes, what if when you do an interview, you record it and it's transcribed? What if, as in that blog post, not as part of the story, but you said at the end of the story, for the full transcription of the interview, click here?
I think that'll be helpful. People can see the context.
Because they're trying to manipulate you. I mean, part of my value as a reporter is that I recognize, I have the knowledge to say, this is not how that works.
So I'll just say bat poop crazy things, and I'll know it'll be in the transcript.
Oh.
Well, the reporter won't put it in.
That's how people use social media literally today. That's how we're fighting this
'Cause
disinformation.
it's unmediated. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've taken my whole job away. Now I'm just a person people talk to, Jeff. No.
Well, but so the primary form of the article is your analysis, interpretation, your selective quotations, which is your attempt to tell the story accurately. But I don't think I think having the primary materials, even if you put a disclaimer at the front of it that says, look, if you really want to know what's going on, read the article. But just in case you want to actually hear what this person said, here's the full unedited transcript. But understand that he might be, manipulating you.
Yeah, there's a couple of value. I think Stacey's absolutely right about the danger, but there's also some value. One is you can see the reporter plucked out a quote, and you can see the larger context, number one. Number two, the reporter was after one thing in a story, and there could be 5 other stories in that interview, 5 other things of interest that didn't work in the reporter's story, but that someone else, she talked to the CEO of hubba.com. Well, I want to read that for a dozen different reasons.
That is true.
Circling back to the Zoom story, I know, Sant, you're talking in the Discord, and a number of people are saying, Jason Howell, our producer, that Zoom changed the terms after the brouhaha.
Allegedly.
That the with your consent part was added subsequently.
Uh-oh.
But Zoom has done that before. I mean, this is a pattern with Zoom. And I don't know if it's sloppiness.
What was your phrase, Stacey? My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's sloppiness or if it's trying to put one over on people and then getting caught.
Yeah.
I think you could interpret it both ways. Zoom has definitely done that before. I mean, this is not the first time.
Well, they could have decided, the world is not ready for this. We pushed too hard. Let's walk it back. And then let's wait a little bit and then walk it forward again. I mean, you see companies do that all the time.
Cool.
Look at location sharing.
Right.
Still not cool.
I can't, I just don't know. I don't think we know what the intent was. It could very well be just, whoops, our bad. We didn't mean it that way.
Or we're doing this. We better put out some new rules.
I think lawyers were like, guys,
you've been doing that?
I've been reading some weird stuff. Are we doing any of this? And they're like, we're looking at it?
Maybe.
I'm not going to. I wouldn't jump on the thought that maybe they were trying to mislead people. That's certainly possible.
Well, I won't compare this to Adobe then, because I know for a fact when Adobe's update announcement came to me, it was right there, plain black and white. And then a month or so later, all of the brouhaha showed up on YouTube. Adobe's going to share my stuff with its AI.
Right.
And I'm like, none of y'all read the stuff because it was right there in black and white.
I don't think this is as clear cut as that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like Zoom maybe changed their tune when they got caught.
I'm Jason Howell. What do you get your favorite geek who already has everything? Well, I know just the thing. It's a Club TWiT gift subscription, of course. TWiT podcasts keep them informed and entertained with the most relevant tech news and podcasts available. And with a Club TWiT subscription, they get even more. They get access to all of our podcasts ad-free, the members-only Discord, exclusive outtakes, behind the scenes and special content, and exclusive shows like Hands on Mac, Hands on Windows, and the Untitled Linux Show. You can purchase your geek's gift at twit.tv/clubtwit, and they're going to thank you every day for it.